Welcome to MFQ Football. I'm your host, Martin Quirk. Today we're going to talk about drills to create an explosive passing game. And these drills were created 20, 30 years ago by men by the name of Mumme, used to coach at the University of Kentucky, and Mike Leach, God rest his soul, just passed away this last couple of weeks. And they really revolutionized how the passing game in the modern era of football is played. And they've really added and shedded light in terms of how to really rep your passing game and make it explosive. So the four drills I'm going to show you here today are stolen, and as most things are in football. So I hope you guys enjoy it. You may have seen some of them before, as there's a lot of people that talk about these specific four drills to create an explosive passing game. One of the things that I think everybody needs to understand is individual time with quarterbacks and wide receivers need to be together 80% of the time. And the reason for that is you create chemistry on your routes. You create an understanding from the quarterback and the receiver where how each receiver runs routes, how each receiver's timing times up with where your ball is, and where your step, when you're doing your 3-and-1 step or 5-step drop or even rollouts, where they're going to be when you get to the top of that. So I think that's important. I know you see a lot of teams out there that, quarterbacks and receivers don't throw to each other unless you're in a scrimmage. So if you're going to be a passing team and you're going to put an emphasis on the pass team, on the pass game, you're going to have to get the receivers and the quarterbacks together. And if your running back is part of the pass game, you're also going to have to get him work running routes with the quarterback and receivers from time to time too. And the other 80% of the time, you're obviously working on mechanics, footwork, blocking, etc. Like I said, need to rep the routes. Receivers need to rep routes. Every single route in your system needs to be repped, so that they get faster off their releases, they get faster on their cuts, they get faster on their breaks, they get faster into their route. And then obviously concepts within drills, not just scrimmage. So you want to also rep your concepts in specific drills, not just during your scrimmage time, because scrimmage time, if you have a limited time, you're probably not going to get a whole lot of scrimmage time. So you got to figure out how to get shells or other types of drills in there to get those reps. Okay. And then pick certain concepts for different nights of the week, and you'll get more reps out of that. And what I mean is, if you got 4 passing plays and you practice 3 times a week, well, on Monday night, you're going to probably want to pick 2 passing concepts and just rep those on Monday night. And on Tuesday night, you're probably going to want to pick the other 2 concepts and then just rep those. And then if you practice on Wednesday or Thursday to end the week, then you'll practice all 4 of them, because probably within that last practice, you're probably going to get more scrimmage or walk through time where you have more time to rep those drills, rep those passing concepts. And then you need to spend some time with your quarterback throughout the season and in the off season on Zooms or on the field. Your quarterback, if you're running a passing game, he has to be the guy, the coach on the field. He has to know the offense in and out just as well as you do. He needs to understand the route progressions. He needs to understand what he's seeing pre-snap. He needs to understand what he does if there's no route, if the route progressions are cloudy. He really does need to understand the passing game and the nuances. He needs to understand where he might get smacked in the mouth, where there's no protection, and then if you have a hot route, etc. Okay, so basically the quarterback needs to get the keys to your car. Basically, you need to trust the quarterback to go out there and execute the way you'd want to, especially if you're running RPOs within your run game, and that's an extension of your pass game. So really needs to be quarterback centric. Quarterback needs to spend a lot of time with the offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, and head coach understanding the game. Okay. And like I mentioned, pass game must be practiced. The 4 drills that we practice quite a bit, probably we'll step back a little bit this year, because last year we came more of a run team than we were a passing team. But perfect drill is a great drill to get receivers working their stances, their releases, breaking, and then coming back to the quarterback to get the ball, catching and turning. Then you go and pat and go. So we do pat and go a little bit differently than most people. A lot of pat and go teams, or a lot of pat and go drills, you just utilize fade routes or deep balls, and you're trying to work on your over the shoulder catches or working on that deep ball timing. We'll run every single route in Pat and Go, but like we only practice 1 or 2 pass concepts or 3 pass concepts on Monday night. We'll pick a specific set of routes that we'll practice on Monday night. We won't practice, if you've got 12 routes in your route tree, you're only doing this drill for about 5-6 minutes, so you probably can only be able to get 4 or 5 routes within those 5 or 6 minutes in. So you're not going to be able to do your entire route tree. So whichever routes match up against your pass concepts for the evening, those were the routes that I'd put in Pat and Go. And then routes on air is basically you're setting up a dummy defense with bags or players that aren't getting reps right away, just so that the quarterback has lanes to throw through, just so that there's traffic out there where you line up dummies on different types of leverages for your DBs, for the receivers to read and stuff like that. And then you go to pass Skelly. So pass Skelly, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are familiar with that. Basically, it's your entire offense against your entire defense minus the lines. And we do it with pressure. We add a little curve to it because doing it with just no pressure is not realistic of what's going to happen in a football game. So if you don't bring something to get that quarterback, get the ball out of his hands fast, he's going to create some bad habits just standing back in the pocket and essentially taking 7 or 8 seconds to throw a ball when in a game he's not going to have that time. Okay, so the first couple drills, that I want to show you is perfect drill. Perfect drill can be lined up with cones or bags. So basically, right here is your line of wide receivers, and then you have another line of wide receivers over here, and then these bags or cones are 5 yards apart. So the first wide receiver will go up here with the quarterback. The quarterback will snap the ball to himself, and then he'll have some kind of a footwork drill. So he might have a 3-step drop from here, and then he'll go forward from here, and then he'll step up in the pocket from here, and then maybe he'll backpedal here, and then he'll throw. So while the quarterback's doing his footwork drill, what you're doing as a receiver, as soon as the ball's snapped, you're going from here to here, you're touching the ground. Do not turn your back to the quarterback, because in a game, you would never turn your back to the quarterback if you were making a cut. Get down here, make a cut, come back, you go back to this bag, touch it, and then you're starting to come up here you come out here with your hands up, and the quarterback will throw you the ball. If the quarterback has not finished his footwork progression, you're going to start working outside, just like as if you ran a hitch in a game situation. And because obviously you're not going to stand there waiting to get a hitch in a game because you might get smacked by a linebacker, you can start working out and the quarterback will get you the ball. Once you catch the ball, you can take a tight turn and you turn upfield and score. Every time we catch a football, no matter which drill it is, you must catch it, tuck it in, and then turn up the field like you're in a game scoring a touchdown. Okay, you have to have that mentality that every time you touch the ball, you're going to score, right? And then once you were in this line here, you go to this line here so you can get reps from the other quarterback. And we do this for about 4 or 5 minutes, and each player probably gets about 6-7 reps throughout that, because it's a pretty quick drill. And if anybody wants these slides or wants some better interpretation of this, please feel free to reach out to me at mfqfootball@gmail.com, and I'd be more than happy to. Okay, so that's the first drill that we do. Second drill that we do is pat and go. So basically we get a line of wide receivers out here on the numbers. We get a quarterback maybe on the 5-yard line right here, and maybe we'll get a quarterback here out on the 25-yard line on the hash, and then we'll get another line of receivers there. Okay, so like I mentioned, when you're running pat and go, you want to kind of line up the routes that you're going to run within this drill with the routes that are going to be in the concepts you're going to practice in scrimmage or practice on routes on air. Okay, so what you would do here is the first receiver, if you guys were running 3-step slants, he would run a 3-step slant. He'd catch the ball. Once he catches the ball, he runs it to this quarterback here, puts it on the ground. Okay, this guy here is running a 3-step slant as well. Okay, and once he catches the ball, he'll bring it to this quarterback here. So basically it's like a little circle, and we're continuously going. You'll get 2 reps of each route. You'll get a rep from each quarterback to kind of get that going, and then we'll switch routes. Okay, now if you're in the Canadian game, one thing we do like to do is if you're a slot back, you would kind of line up there and then get your waggle and then release. And if you're an outside receiver, you'd be on 5 yards up on the line. So we kind of get the receivers and the slot backs where they would actually be in a game situation within their offense. Okay. And you can work drops with your quarterback. You can work routes that are 3-step drop routes. You can work routes that are 1-step drop routes, and then you can also work routes with your quarterback that also require him to change the launch point, whether rolling out or taking a diagonal drop. So it's really good. And like I said, everybody's catching balls all the time. There's nothing worse than having a receiver out there that's not catching balls, just holding it off. Okay. So that's the first 2 drills we do. Then we move on to routes on air. And what routes on air is essentially it helps the quarterback kind of read on what he's doing in terms of what the progressions are and things like that. Okay. So what we do is we set up bags. So depending on, usually what you want to do is you game plan this and you want to kind of set up the defense the way you're going to see the defense on the weekend. So this is basically a stick concept. And basically in ROAs, basically you want to pick 1 or 2 routes a night to kind of really massage. You'll get 5 minutes. You're trying to get 6-7 times through this. What you're going to do is the QB is going to work through his progression. So on this progression here, pre-snap, he would read this. Backside, just as an example, on our concept, this is what we call a grass concept. So this guy's running a 3-yard out. He's basically taking 2 steps out and then cutting across DB's face. And then this guy here's running a broken arrow there. Okay. So basically what the quarterback would be looking for is what he's going to go through his reads. If he doesn't like that, then he snaps the ball. He's going to go to his post-snap read. Okay. And his post-snap read on this is also a pre-snap read here, this fade. If he likes that DB matchup against that receiver, he's welcome to take that shot as well. And then he'll go on to his read. Okay. And his read's basically going to be the hitch to the flat route. And that's kind of where he'll go. So basically we work pre-snap reads against bags. And then we work post-snap reads against bags. It also gives the receivers some work on getting around defenders, stacking defenders, and having an understanding where a defender might be when they cut in their route. Okay. Ideally, what you could do here too to make sure that all receivers are catching balls, if your backup quarterback is not a receiver or a running back or doing something else that's important, you could have the backup quarterback. You could predetermine the backup quarterback. Okay, you're going to throw that mandatory outside fade to the Z receiver on the snap of the ball. This way, 2 guys are getting the ball, and if you have a lot of coaches, you can get 2 or 3 coaches coming in, and you could predetermine. Okay, the grass route. The backup quarterback's going to read the grass route. The starting quarterback's going to read the play side concept. Do not throw the Z route. That route we're going to get the coach to throw to. So you can kind of mix it up where you get 3 or 4 guys throwing balls, and essentially everybody's catching balls, right? Like I said, running drills where guys aren't catching balls sometimes sucks for the receivers not catching the ball. And then the next drill, I think, like I said, everybody kind of understands. Past Skelly, it's kind of you got your secondary and your linebackers out there, along with your receivers, quarterbacks, and running back. Sometimes the running back, sometimes not. But as you can see, we're running cover 0 because you've got the free safety over the H, and the H, the halfback is kind of playing the Y, and the corner's playing the Z. And on the opposite side, you've got the corner playing the X and the H playing the Y, right? So I got a running back in this scenario. I got 2 blitzers. I got a blitzer coming here. And then this running back's going to pick up that blitzer. And then I got another linebacker that's blitzing. And they're going to pick different angles. They might just come upfield, which means the quarterback's got to step up in the pocket. And you can see my quarterback escape drill kind of also works exactly like this, but this is a different way you can do it with more people than just having the quarterbacks rush themselves, right? So he steps up in the pocket. This guy can also come across his face, where that means he's got to step out here. and kind of make a decision, right? And again, quarterback in this specific example, he's reading so if this is his pre-snap here, he's reading, can I hit this? Can I hit that? If not, then he moves on to the pre-snap on this side. Can I hit that? And if there's something he really likes, he's free to snap the ball and throw that pre-snap read. If he's not, then he goes through his post-snap progression 1 to 2, okay? And the pressure will help get him to have an understanding how he can set his feet. And sometimes, yeah, you're flushed out of the way you want to go and you have to kind of come back this way, right? So if this guy was to come across his face this way, well, he's going to have to go out this way to kind of set his feet. Then he's going to have to figure out, can he throw this, or he's going to have to run off, okay? So this is, guys, this is examples of four drills that you can do with your receivers, quarterbacks, and running backs to perfect your passing game. And if you spend time, even if you did 2 drills on Monday and 2 drills on Tuesday, and then you did another 2 drills on Thursday or Friday, depending on when you practice, that's 30 minutes of specific route running, specific concept running, specific quarterback reads against different types of situations. Your passing game, your receivers, your quarterback, your running backs will be that much better than you ever anticipated. And also when you're doing drills like pass Skelly, it also works. It also helps your pass coverage on your defensive side of the ball. So again, quarterback needs keys to the car. And you really need to rep your passing game with your quarterbacks and your receivers if you want to be successful. Thanks for tuning in to this session of MFQ Football. If you have any questions, please hit me up at mfqfootball@gmail.com. Thank you and have a great day.